शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Okay, start. So last time, if you remember, I think we were on shlokas 13, right? Rudro Bahushira Bubrur. So till Vishwayonihi we had seen. We'll continue. Share my screen. Vishwayonihi, if you remember, it was a story of Rama and Hanuman. How when Rama returns back to Ayodhya, how when Hanuman goes to Bharadwaja Ashrama, when all of them go to Bharadwaja Ashrama, Hanuman went first to meet Bharata to give him the news that Rama, Lakshmana, Sita have returned back to Ayodhya. On the way they have food at Bharadwaja Ashrama. Hanuman is late and at that time already the food was being served. So Rama, he feels that to his devotee, because of the work that was given to Hanuman became late, so he cuts the banana leaf into two parts, and that's how both of them eat from they divide it into two parts, and on each side of the leaf, both Hanuman and Rama, they have food. So those who have missed the last class, you please listen to the recording so that you are on track. Next, Shuchishravaha. Shuchini Shravamsi Namani Shravaniyani Asya iti Shuchishravaha. Shravaha, Shravanam, Shrunoti, all these words are related to listening or hearing something. So here in this context, hearing or listening to the names of the Lord is very, very auspicious. So in what way? Let us have a look. Now for this story, we have to go to the Ramayana reference, the story of Valmiki, story of sage Valmiki. So if you know the previous story of Valmiki, he was a great or you can say great only we can call a great robber, or a person who was, you can say, very cruel, or he knew how to rob people, how to steal things from people. And that's when once Narada comes there and he tells many other sages also he meets in the forest, and that's when he asks that for whom are you doing all this? He says, for serving my family, for fetching, for taking care of my family. That's when they ask that Narada tells him that you are doing so much, but are they going to share you say that all this you are doing for the sake of your family, but all this is incurring sin, Papa. Are they ready to share your Papa? Ratnakara, Valmiki's original name was Ratnakara, the robber. So he did not have an answer for this. He goes home, he asks his wife that I am doing all this for the sake of our family, to save our family. So, but this action is going to incur me, Papa, incur me a sin. So are you ready to share that with me? Wife says, why should I share that? I didn't tell you to steal, right? You taking care of your family is your duty, but in what way you do, that is your choice. You have chosen this path, so why should I share the Papa? She gives a very nice answer. He goes and consults his parents, they also give the same answer. Now nobody is ready to share sin, right? Whereas something is good, we are ready to share that. Whereas sin, nobody is ready to share. Whereas now, say for example, if I have something good with me, I'll say that I want to share with all of you will be ready, right, to accept, and you like to be a part of it. But something evil is there, I'll tell you, no, I need some money or so. How many of us will actually come to help? We won't do that. Whereas if I say that, no, I have got a lot with me, I want to share that with all of you, everyone comes readily, right? So it is the same thing here. So he goes and consults his parents also tell the same thing. Why should we do that? We didn't tell you to steal. They also raise their hands. Children also tell the same thing. Now Ratnakara, he feels, why am I doing all this? When I'm doing all this, nobody is ready to share my Papa. So now this leads him, or this was, you can say, the changing point or the turning point in his life. He comes back and he tells Narada, I went and asked my family, nobody is ready to share the sin with me. So now what should I do? You advise me. Narada says that now only thing what you can do is, you have done a lot of Papa. You sit and chant Ramanama, that is going to free you from all kinds of sins. So he said, okay. So you tell me what exactly I have to chant. Narada already told him you have to chant Ramanama. This person had listened even this word Rama also for the first time. Now something is new to us. We asked, right? What did you say? Say again. right? If you're not familiar with something, we ask, what is this? Can you repeat, right? So similarly, Valmiki also, he asks Ratnakara, he asks again saying that repeat what you said, I'm not able to understand. So Narada says, such a simple word I told you, Rama Nama, Rama, can't you chant this? So easy, Rama, only 2 aksharas, 2 letters, this also you are not able to pronounce. Valmiki says, okay, I will try. How much ever he tries, Valmiki is not able to chant. Ratnakara is not able to chant Rama. So now Narada says, why? He sits on wondering. Now, if all of us also we say Rama, 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 if I say all of you to chant, so easy, right? None will tell me that you repeat what you said, repeat. Whereas if I tell you some big word also, then it becomes difficult. What did you say? Can you repeat? Right? So then, why it was happening with Valmiki? Narada also starts wondering. That's such a simple word, everyone is chanting. In our everyday lives also people chant Rama Rama. People greet each other saying Ram Ram. Still, what is the problem? Why this person is not able to chant? At that time, Narada, he thinks deeply and he gets an answer that to chant Rama Nama also we have to do a lot of punya. If today all of us are chanting even Rama, if Rama, this name is coming to our lips, this itself means that we have done a lot of punya, we have done a lot of merit. That is the reason we are able to do this. Otherwise, we cannot even chant Rama Nama. Same thing happened with Ratnakara. He had not done even one punya in his life. He had not done anything good in his life. That is the reason why even Ramanama did not come to his lips. Rama, such an easy word, that also could not come. So if today all of us forget about Vishnu Sahasranama and everything, if we are even able to chant the word Rama, that itself shows that we have done a lot of merit. Otherwise, Ramanama will not come to the mouth of all of us. So the same thing Narada tells. So he tells, okay, you do one thing, you chant the name Mara Mara Mara. Because your whole life has been associated with killing people, robbing people, Maranam. So this word will easily come to your mouth, Mara 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 Mara. You keep chanting, automatically that will become Rama Rama in the course of time. Valmiki does this, but he does this very sincerely. Now here there should be no place for doubt. Tomorrow all of us will also feel, okay, let us do a lot of bad karma, then some changing point will come in our life, we'll also chant something, and then we'll also turn from Ratnakara, we'll also become Valmiki. Now why this turning point came in the life of Valmiki would surely be because of some good karma that he had done before, right? Otherwise it will not come. What if this turning point doesn't come in all of our lives? Then it's of no use, right? We have to become Ajivana Ratnakara only we'll become. So here, this is where Narada tells Valmiki that you keep chanting Mara Mara, automatically it will become Rama Rama. That's when an anthill, that is Valmiki, it starts growing around this person Ratnakara. That's how he turns into a sage, he becomes Valmiki. And then the later story goes about how he composes the Ramayana. Brahma comes there, Narada comes there, tells the story of Rama. That's when he starts writing the Ramayana. That's when Sita comes to his ashrama, Lavakusha grow in his ashrama. Then he teaches the Ramayana to them and so on. So, Shuchishravase, how this is related to this nama is that which is pleasant to hear. Shuchihi Shravase, something which is very pleasant to hear. So now even if we listen to the story of Valmiki, it is very pleasant. Rather than pleasant, it's very surprising also that how a person can change his life just by chanting Ramanama. So this is Nama Mahima. Secondly, he has blessed the world with a text called Ramayana, which is very much pleasant to listen, chant the stories of Rama, to read or to chant or listen, whatever it is. Thirdly, another reason why Shuchishravase, this Nama is very, very auspicious is whatever is being said, or even this Ramanamam. Now this reference is given by Swami Bodhendra Deshika. I don't know how many of you are aware. Bodhendra, he was a very great devotee of Rama. He comes in the Sangam literature. A lot of songs are dedicated to Swami Bodhendra. So in the singing parampara, if you see, in the Nama Sankirtana parampara, mainly belonging to South Indian tradition, the first in Guru parampara, when you chant the songs, when you sing the songs, first song will be of Swami Bodhendra. So Bodhendra, he has composed many songs on Lord Rama, and he says that even if you are not to chant Ramanama, you have to do punya, but even to hear Ramanama also you have to do punya. Why? So someone had come and questioned him, what so much you are telling Ramanama, Rama, I'll chant and go about, what so much you make such an issue out of this. So Bodhendra at that time says that in this world there are so many things. If you want to listen, you can listen to so many things, right? Our ears are always open. That is the reason you see, out of all the sense organs that are there, ears and nose are always open. Nose is but obvious, it has to be open because we are breathing. But if you close the nose also they get closed at some time. That's when a person dies, right? Or maybe we have a cold also, occasionally it gets closed, it gets blocked. Whereas ears are the only sensory organs that are always open. So Bodhendra at that time, not only Bodhendra, there are many people who give this reference. Bodhendra was one of them. He says that purposely God has blessed us with ears open so that there are many things which you want to hear, but at least unconsciously, even if you don't want to listen, still if you listen to Ramanama or something good from somewhere, that might change your life, just as it happened in the case of Valmiki. So the Lord is being so generous, and whenever He has made something, whenever He has created something, He has been very, very thoughtful. That is the reason you see ears for not only human beings, even for all other creatures also, ears will never be closed. In fact, for animals like dogs and in general all animals, their ears are more sharp. That is because their mouths don't work, right? They cannot speak like us. And even for people who are handicapped, say for example someone is blind, their ears and mouth, the other sensory organs will be more sharp. In case of all of us, if we are blessed with everything, that is the reason why sometimes when someone speaks also we cannot hear. Even if something is in front of your eyes also, you cannot see it properly. Reason being, we have everything, we don't value that, and that's the reason we cannot see properly, we cannot hear properly, even though all our sense organs are functioning well. So here Bodhendra, he says that this is the reason why ears are always open. Mouth also, sometimes we don't know in the mouth whether good things will come to speak, but if ears are open, at least someone is chanting something there, someone is saying, it may not be only chanting or so, someone is at least speaking something good, you listen to that, that might change your life. Unconsciously you listen to something, that will be good for you. That is the reason ears are always open. So chanting Ramanama is one, even if you hear to that, that will also lead to moksha. So Shuchishravase Namaha. So another name for the Lord is Shuchishravase. That is one whose names, if we listen, be it the Vishnu Sahasranama or be it even Ramanama, Krishnanama, anything, even if we listen to that and it comes to our, if it is coming to our tongue, that means you have done a lot of punya. That's the reason you are able to chant. But at least if you are being able to listen to that, that also is going to lead to moksha. That is the reason why Shuchishravase, one name itself has been dedicated in the Vishnu Sahasranama to the Lord, meaning one whose names are very, very pleasant to listen. So the Phalashruti of this Nama, Shuchishravase Namaha, is a Nama, and the Phalashruti will be whatever we hear will be good, always good. Now there are so many things in the world, right? Every day you hear some bad news as well as you hear some good news also, right? So out of everything that we hear, it doesn't mean that we will not hear bad news at all. Nothing negative will happen. Negative things, evil things are going to happen. We will hear those news also, but at least from all the things that are happening around, we will be able to grasp the good things that are there, absorb them into our lives. This is the Phalashruti of this Nama, Shuchishravase Namaha. Okay, did everyone understand this Nama? Yes?
Yes, Lakshmi.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next. Amritaha. Na vidyate amritam maranamasyeeti amritaha. One who doesn't have death, that is amritaha. For this, we have to again go down to South India. Now this reference is from the Sharangapani temple in Kumbakonam. Sharangam is the bow of Vishnu. So in Sharangapani temple in Kumbakonam, Tamil Nadu, you have Lord Vishnu holding the Sharanga bow in his hand. That's how the name of the temple is Sharangapani temple, Kumbakonam. Sharangapani is the name of the Lord. So it is said that, now those who have visited that place, you might know more, but even if you go and visit, the Mahima of that place is called, in this temple, it seems that the Lord, the Utsava Murti, Utsava is the idol that you take around processions or maybe something. Now every time what happens is, whenever there is an occasion, we don't pick up the idol from the main temple and bring, right? The idol is always installed, we cannot move. But maybe during Abhisheka, certain pujas, or while processions in chariots and so on, we always bring the Utsava Murti or the Vigraha, which can be moved from here and there. So it seems that the Utsava Murti, now that is Sharangapani, Lord Sharangapani with Shri Devi and Bhudevi on both the sides. It seems that the Lord is so, you can say, so handsome, the Devis are so beautiful that the Lord cannot withstand his own beauty, it seems. And it seems that he himself is admiring him. This is a very peculiar feature in the Sharangapani temple of Kumbakonam. He says devotees will come and admire me, devotees will feel very happy when they look at me, they will like my form and everything. That is on one part. I myself am not able to bear my beauty, he says. Now, if you have ever gone to any, now especially if you go to certain temples, like you go to the Arunachaleshwara temple, or you go to Madurai temple, or any temple that you go, the beauty of that place itself is very fascinating, right? Or it may not be always beautiful, is like it should be very big or it should be very colorful, but whenever you visit any temple, at least those vibes that are there, we feel happy. Even though you don't feel happy, you don't feel sad, right? So just by going to a temple or maybe a good place surrounded by good people, we always feel happy. Maybe or peaceful, at least for that a couple of minutes or so that you spend there, you don't feel sad or you don't have negative thoughts coming in your mind, so you have some peace of mind. So the same thing here the Lord says, and here he says that I myself am blessed by seeing me, by seeing my form, devotees coming, and he says that I'm not able to admire myself enough. So what he does is, in the Sharangapani temple, you have a Garuda. As usual in every Vishnu temple, you have a Garuda in front. It seems that Garuda is a form of Lord Vishnu only. Otherwise also Garuda is said to be a form of Lord Vishnu. More than that, he is said to be the Vahana, vehicle of Lord Vishnu. But here in the Sharangapani temple, Lord Garuda is resembling Lord Vishnu only. That is, from the front side, he is admiring the Lord. On the left and right, you have Sri Devi and Bhudevi. So both those goddesses also are considered to be a form of Lord Vishnu. They are also admiring the Lord from both the sides. And behind the Lord is Adishesha, on whom the Lord sleeps. So from behind, Adishesha is admiring the Lord. So all these four, Garuda, Sri Devi, Bhudevi and Adishesha, they are all forms of Lord Vishnu. So it seems as if Lord Vishnu only is admiring himself. So this is the story that takes place, and all this reference has been made in the Sangam literature, Tamil literature, by many Alvars, wherein they say that the Lord himself cannot withstand his beauty. That's the reason his own consorts, his Adishesha, his Vahana, Garuda, everyone he considers to be his own form, so that he can admire himself from all parts. So this itself is called Amritam or nectar. Now this Nama, if you see, the story of this Nama is little short because it gets continued in the next Nama also. So here this itself is Amritam, or you can say Amritam, pure bliss, nectar. Now if you look at the meaning, you will know, one who does not have death is Amrita. But what is Amritam? Now whenever we eat some food, we say right, it's like nectar, but it's just like Amritam. That means what? It's very good. There is nothing which can match that. So the Lord's beauty is also like that. It cannot match anything. The Lord himself is fascinated by his own beauty. That is the reason he considers everything around him, both his consorts, Vahana and Adishesha, to be admiring him, and ultimately all other devotees also who visit the temple regularly in order to admire, in order to show bhakti to the Lord. So this is Amritam. So Amritaya Namaha is the Nama. So, and when we chant this, it seems that all problems that we have in life, physical, mental worries, are solved. More than that, the literal meaning of this Nama is one who is free from death, that is Amrita. That is the meaning. In this context, it is one who is fascinated by one's own beauty. That is total happiness, total bliss. Now, if a day comes in all of our lives saying that, now today sometimes we say that today I am very happy. Why you are happy? Maybe everything happened as you willed, or maybe whatever you wished that happened, so you are happy. So when does happiness come? When we ourselves are satisfied. Okay, today whatever I felt that happened, whatever I wanted that took place, all my wishes are fulfilled, so I am happy. So it is a very good day for me. Tomorrow things don't happen the way you want, it is a bad day for you, right? So this is what exactly Amritam is, nothing but happiness or bliss. So one who is fascinated by his own beauty, that means there is no flaws in him at all. So you imagine the state when we are happy with ourselves. Okay, today I have done everything, I am very happy. So one who is happy with oneself, in this case it is beauty especially, that is nothing but Amrita in this context. So Amritaya Namaha is this Nama. Palashruti is all problems that are there in one's life will be solved. And the meaning of Amrita here, original meaning is to be free from death. In this context, the meaning is one who is fascinated or blown away by one's own beauty, the Lord Sharangapani of Kumbakonam. Okay, next Nama. Shashwatasthanu. Shashwatasthanu. Shashwataschasa sthanuscheti Shashwatasthanu. One who is eternal, that is one who does not move from here and there, one who is always firm and steady. For this, again, it is a continuation of the previous story. The same Sharangapani temple of Kumbakonam. Now, if you visit certain temples, for example, Srirangam temple, you see the Gopuram is very big, or Rameshwaram temple, Madurai temple, then you have Srivilliputturu temple, and then the Sharangapani temple. Those who have visited the Sharangapani temple will know that its Gopuram is very, very big. Anyone has visited Sharangapani temple, Kumbakonam?
Yes.
Yes.
I hail from that place, madam.
Yes.
Kumbakonam, Sarangapani temple, regular visitor of Sarangapani.
So
Today
if you
they
see,
are actually blessed to hear about the stories about Sarangapani, madam.
okay, so you stay nearby there?
I am in Kumbakonam.
Acha, you stay in Kumbakonam. Okay.
Yeah.
So
A regular visitor today, Ekadashi also. So blessed to hear Sarangapani stories.
correct. Okay. So yeah. So Shashwatasthanahu, next is a Nama. So the Gopuram is very, very big. So whenever you visit this temple, like I gave you a few other examples, even the Shashwatasthanahu, this place, that literally means one who is always steady. So the story that goes about here is, so like this, there are different temples that are there. Finally, Sharangapani temple has also got a very big Gopuram. So once it so happened, now if those who have visited, maybe Madhusudanji, if you are going to the temple today, you can notice that in this temple, now there are certain Vishnu temples which have got two Garudas. One Garuda will always be there as a Vahana in front of Vishnu. But here in Sharangapani temple, there are a few other temples also. But here in the Sharangapani temple, you have two Garudas. One is the Garuda with Ashtabhuja Garuda, that is 8 hands, and there is another Garuda having in the side it will be there with 12 hands. Those who visit this temple, you can make a note of this, with 12 hands, Dwadashakshara Bhuja. There is a Dwadashakshari Mandapa there, and then on the side you have a Garuda having 12 hands. So there are two Garudas here. What is the reason for this? Why two Garudas? Sometimes in some temples there are two Garudas. So one is a Vahana of Vishnu, second is considered, there will be some specific stories there, or maybe Vishnu himself in the form of Garuda. So that is the reason why a few temples have got two Garudas. Even Nandi, sometimes you see one Nandi will be in front, there will be another Nandi in the side, or maybe if there are small Shiva temples in the vicinity of the main temple, you will have respective Nandis for each of the Shiva. So like this, it is there in some temples. It will have some of the other stories, some Sthala Purana story references will be there. So here also, if you see in the Sharangapani temple, you have one Garuda with 8 hands, Ashtabhuja in front, and you have on the side also you have a Garuda with 12 hands. So how come main Garuda is there, right? What is the reason for one more Garuda there? For this we have to go to Garuda's stories. Now Garuda's mother is Vinata. Now Vinata's sister was Kadru. Her elder sister was Kadru. Kadru is Nagamata, the mother of Nagas. Nagas and Garuda, they have an enmity, and that enmity starts from here. As per the laws of nature also, eagles and snakes have enmity, and as per stories, epics, Puranas, you have the fight or the enmity between serpents and eagles that starts from here. So once it so happened that Kadru, she had a jealousy towards Vinata. No, there was no reason as such, she was just jealous with her sister. Because ultimately she had many sons who were born, many Nagas, but Garuda had attained a higher status. He had become the Vahana of Lord Vishnu and so on. So now what happens is, Kadru, she had caught Vinata and kept under her control. So she had caught her, she had put her in prison and so on. So now obviously Garuda, he wanted to release his mother. So he goes and tells Kadru, please release my mother. There is no reason why you have to keep my mother inside. She has not done anything. Kadru says there is only one condition how I will release your mother. Garuda tells, you tell me that condition, I will do that so that you can release my mother. So Kadru, she tells Garuda, you go to Swargaloka and you get Amrita. Amritam, nectar, is there in Swargaloka. You get that for me and my sons. Once they drink, once they become immortal, then I will release your mother. Garuda says, he agrees. He does not think here and there because his main objective was to release his mother. He goes to Swargaloka. Now, nectar will not be kept in open, right? Now, say for example, gold ornaments or something, things which are very precious, we don't keep it in open. Do we just spread it on the floor and keep? No, you keep it very nicely. Most of us, we don't keep it in our houses. Maybe it is somewhere safe, you keep it in your lockers and so on. So, like that, even this Amrita also was kept safely somewhere inside Swargaloka. So now what happened is he fought. Now someone will say, no, I want Amrita. Will anyone leave you like that? None. None of the gods they live. They say about whom you're taking, what you're taking. They started questioning Garuda. Garuda did not answer anyone. Whoever came is in his way, he defeated them and went above. All the gods were defeated. Finally, Indra comes. Indra tries to hit Garuda with his Vajrayudham. That also fails. Garuda proceeds further. Now it seems that where that Amrita was being kept inside, there were two wheels, it seems, and two wheels were rotating continuously. They were kept beside each other, and the place that was there between those two wheels, between those two chakras, Garuda had to pass through that in order to reach Amrita. So basically, the place, two wheels were continuously rotating, and the place that was there between two wheels, you can say hardly an inch or so, between that Garuda had to pass in order to get the nectar. It was very difficult. What if you get cut by those wheels? But still somehow Garuda manages. He brings back Amrita, he defeats all the devas, he passes through all obstacles, he returns back, he gives it to Kadru. And those Kadru sons also, they consume Amrita and so on. Everything, he returns back to Kadru, Vinata is released, all that happens. Now, Garuda wonders that what so much Amrita they are saying. Garuda did not know about Amrita. Let me also taste and see. Now maybe Amrita will be very tasty, so let me do. So he takes a pot of Amrita and little he tastes for himself. He takes a drop and he puts it inside his mouth. It is very bitter. He is not able to, it's very salty, very bitter. He is not able to consume. Garuda is shocked. Garuda says, what is this? Amritam, she asked me, Kadru, I passed through so many obstacles, I defeated all the gods, I bought for this. So bitter, so salty, I don't know how those people are consuming, and they also ate it very nicely. Now, why Amritam became so bitter for Garuda? Anyone knows the answer for this? Why it tasted bitter, or you can say very salty for Garuda? No? Okay.
No idea, no idea.
Huh.
He has
Now-
9 serpents around his hand, no, madam? 9 serpents around his hand, Garuda. Because of that venom of that snake, is that his body is also full of.
No, 9 serpents were there around him, that is correct. But Amrita did not taste bitter because of that. It is because for a good person, now in the case of Garuda, he was Vedaswarupaha, he is Vedaswarupaha, he is the Lord himself, Lord's Vahana himself. Lord considers Garuda to be a form of him, form of Lord Vishnu only. So in this case, when a good person, or say for example, people like us, if someone tells you, okay, Vishnu Sahasranama you chant, you're already chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama, right? Whereas a person who doesn't know about Vishnu Sahasranama, if he chants it for the first time, for him it will be Amrita. For all of us, it's fine, okay, Vishnu Sahasranama we are chanting, it will not be Amritam for us. Amritam is okay, we are doing something good, that's it. So in the case of Garuda also it became the same reason. For good, who asks for Amritam? Garuda did not go and ask for Amritam because he knew that he is nectar personified, that is he has Lord Vishnu sitting on him. What more is Amritam for him, right? So Amritam, we should never compare it just as you can say a good liquid or so, or just as something to become immortal. Amritam can be anything. Maybe for all of us now, I hope so, listening to the stories of Vishnu Sahasranama can be Amritam. Maybe I speak to all of you, that can be Amritam for me. So Amritam is nothing but happiness, bliss. It need not only limit to a good liquid that is there just to make us immortal. What is the use of becoming immortal if you are not able to do something, right? If you are not able to do something good, what is the use of living for 1,000 years or so? Whereas in 100 years also, if you can do something good and people are going to remember you for the next 1,000 years, this is Amritam. Whereas I end up consuming Amritam, I live for 1,000 years, maybe I am bedridden, I am inflicted with some disease, I am causing harm to others, what is the use of such a life? So here, through this instance, why the Amritam tasted bitter, or you can say very salty for Garuda, is because Garuda already has got all good things in him. So he doesn't need this Amrita for him, and that's the reason it tasted bitter. For evil people, you need Amrita because they have a fear that they are going to die. Whereas for good people, you don't need Amritam because already you have done so many good deeds. So you're already Amritam, you're full of Amritam. On top of that, if you consume this, it will become excess of that, and that's the reason it tasted bitter. So this is the significance that is told for
I
Amritam.
want to say one thing. See, அளவுக்கு மிஞ்சினால் அமிர்தமும் நஞ்சு.
Correct.
Is it based on that?
Yes, correct. So excess of anything. Correct. The same proverb that you said. Correct. So over excess of everything is bad. So if everything is good, everything is happening good in our lives, still we keep adding to that, ultimately it's going to lead to danger. One more simple example I'll give you. Even in our everyday lives also, if you have say 3 or 4 houses, still you keep on buying houses also. Ultimately at one point of time you feel that it's just a burden, right? Because I cannot take care of so many houses. I'm going to live only in one house, I'm going to live only in one room, but still already I have got 2 or 3 houses, even if I need for some investment purpose or for my children, whatever it is. Beyond that, still I look at some house and I feel like purchasing it because I've got money or whatever it is. Ultimately you feel, oh, I'm not able to manage even one thing, now I'm turning old, none of my children are going to take care, it has become a burden for me. So this is when having houses was amritam for you maybe a few years back, but now that it has become excess, this amritam only is going to turn into problem. So this is the significance here, and that's where Garuda says that it's so bitter, what to do with this. And now his entire taste, everything had changed. Now whenever we eat some medicine or so, if it is very bitter, our entire mouth taste changes, right? So now he doesn't know what to do. He says, forget, I don't know why this Kadru, now Kadru was an elder sister of Vinata. So automatically Garuda had a lot of respect towards her, and Vinata also had a lot of respect towards her elder sister. So he said, okay, for my cousins, for my brothers, for my elder mother, I have bought whatever she asked, forget it. For me, Amritam was bitter, I don't know. Now he doesn't know the reason why. So he keeps flying and he finally reaches this Sharangapani temple. And that's the reason why another name for Lord Garuda is Sudhaharaha. Sudha is Amrita. Haraha, one who stealed Amrita. Sudhaharaha, another name for Garuda. And finally he reaches Kumbakonam, he reaches the Sharangapani temple and he says that this is Amritam for me. You see the previous Nama, Amritam, Sharangapani temple, the Lord Sharangapani is known as Amritam because he himself admires his beauty, right? So in this case, Garuda comes and concludes, he says that I don't need any other Amritam. For me, this place is only Amritam. This place is only nectar for me. One who is always present here, the Lord who is present here in the form of Utsavamurti or in the form of the Vigraha, in the form of Garuda, Adishesha, Sri Devi, Bhudevi. For me, he is only Amritam. I don't need any other Amritam in a liquid form. For me, I will stay here. And that's when he sits there with 12 hands in order to serve the Lord, and that's how you have another Garuda in the Sharangapani temple of Kumbakonam. That is when Garuda reaches, after consuming the bitter Amritam, he reaches finally this temple. He says that I'm going to live here only now because this place is full of Amritam. This is only Amritam for me. That's the reason why we have 2 Garudas. One is a normal Garuda who is always present in Vishnu temples. Second is this Garuda who comes after consuming Amrita, and finally concludes that this place is only Amritam for me. So this Nama is Shashvata Sthanave Namaha is this Nama, and the Palashruti is for us also, instead of running behind things which are useless, maybe for a temporary period we find them as Amritam, later it might become a trouble for us, maybe over excess of wealth, houses or whatever it is, or it can be even people for that matter. Today you might find someone who's very good, 10 years later maybe the same person might become our enemy, we never know. So like this, we will also be blessed with only one final Amritam that is there, which will not change. In the case of Garuda, he got the grace of the Lord. Similarly, all of us also will be blessed by the grace of the Lord. Lord will shower this kind of Amritam on all of us. So, Shashvata Sthanave Namaha is this Nama. Okay, did everyone understand this Nama? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Next. Vararoha. Varaha aroha ankaha yasya asya iti vararoha. Now there are 2 or 3 meanings here. One has a very fine lap, Narsimha because he has placed goddess Mahalakshmi. Secondly, the same lap was used to even kill Hiranyakashipu. Or Dhruva was also placed on the lap of his father Uttanapada. For that reason he did tapasya. Now his first motive of doing tapasya was because his stepmother had not allowed him to sit on the lap of his father. So the main reason for doing tapasya was, of course, he did not pray to do tapasya, but then that was a turning point which happened. Because he was not allowed to sit on the lap of his father, that's when he felt that he should go and do tapasya. So next, Varam Arohanam Yasmin Itiva Arudhana Punaravritya Sambhavat. That is, people who go to Vaikuntha, they will never come back. Means going to Vaikuntha is the ultimate. That is Vararoha. Ultimate happiness is going to Vaikuntha. Okay. You have some reference even from the Chandogya Upanishad, Nasa Punara Vartate, meaning those who go to Vaikuntham, they don't come back. And the Gita says, Yam Prapyanani Vartante, one who reached the solace, one who reached Vaikuntham, he doesn't have to return back. Okay, now for this story, we have to go to Kailasa. Once it so happened that Parvati and Shiva both were sitting in Kailasa, they were spending some good time with each other. At that time, Ravana comes there, and as we know the story, he tries to lift Kailasa. As usual, he failed, he could not lift Kailasa. But then he was a very great man, so just he used all his might and he tried to lift the Parvata Kailasa. Kailasa started moving. That's when ultimately his hands got stuck there, and then you have the composition of the Shiva Tandava Stotram. Finally, Shiva comes, blesses, and so on. That is another story. But here, first, when he tries to lift the mountain Kailasa, what happens is that the entire mountain starts moving. And Parvati and Shiva, they were sitting with each other. They also get disturbed. They also start moving suddenly. And in spite of all this, Shiva does not get angry. He blesses him. He blesses him that he will be a very great Shiva devotee and so on. He blesses. Ravana also goes away. Now Parvati is surprised. She says, why? Why did you bless him? In fact, he did something wrong, right? He tried to uproot this mountain Kailasa. Everyone who was staying in Kailasa was disturbed. Everyone started moving, and you are blessing this person. What is the logic behind this? So, Shiva says that you wait. Immediately you will not get an answer. In the course of time, you will get an answer. So, Parvati says, okay, forget it. She doesn't get bothered. She says, leave. I don't want to know all this. And she goes away. Then, after some days or so, what happened is, and again this concept came in. Now this story is also told with the temple in Chennai, Mylapore temple that we have, wherein the Tirukural was composed. Anyone knows which temple in Mylapore?
Kapalishwara temple.
Kapalishwara temple, correct. Kapalishwara and Karpakambal, they are the same Shiva and Parvati, it seems. Even if you read through the stories of the Sangam literature stories, you will see that this reference or this Nama Vararohaha is related to the Mylapore temple, that is a Kapalishwara temple in Chennai. Kapalishwara temple and Karpakambal, they are the same Shiva and Parvati. So, there it so happens that once when now this is told in the folklores of Mylapore temple also, but the original story goes that later after a few days or so, Shiva, he reminds Parvati, and he tells that day you had asked, right, why did you bless Ravana, even though you should have cursed him, right? Why did you bless him? So at that time Shiva tells that that is because when Ravana, he shook the Kailasa Parvata, it was actually a blessing for me. It actually led to good. Parvati has what good? Everyone is shaking, the entire mountain was uprooted, all the beings in Kailasa were disturbed, we ourselves were disturbed, and someone will come from somewhere, they will move the Kailasa. How come you go and bless him? In fact, in all other times, little also someone makes you angry, you open your third eye and you burn them. And this is partiality, this, that, she starts speaking. And at that time, Shiva says that usually what happens is that whenever there is a husband and a wife, if you have to, it is very easy, it is said so. Now, all this is said in the Puranic stories, and you also have a Kavi, great poet called Mahaganga Kavi, Mahagangai Kavi, Mahagangai Kavi Chakravarti. He says in his texts, Samukshepam Yav Prithvi Vritam Varam and so on, a shloka goes about, wherein he says that Lord Shiva was very pleasant, because Shiva says that whenever there is a relationship between a husband and wife, it is very easy to please the husband, but it becomes very difficult to please the wife. Maybe all the men here, you can relate to this. If your wife gets angry or so, it becomes very difficult to go and maybe convince her or whatever it is. Whereas for the husband, it becomes easy. But it is easy to convince. Now it can be even vice versa. And secondly, even the feeling of love that is there, the husband will approach from his side very easily. But the wife, it becomes very difficult for the lady to approach from her side. This is feminine nature. This is what this Mahagangai Kavi, he tells. Same thing happened with Shiva and Parvati. Jagadav Pitarav Vande Parvati Parameshwara. Whatever Shiva and Parvati have experienced in their life, same thing today as couples, everyone experiences. This is what is said. So Shiva and Parvati, so that's the reason why Shiva and Parvati, all through their relationship, so many ups and downs come. Everything is related to our lives. In the life of husband and wife, it is said. So Shiva, he tells Parvati that so he says that it is very difficult for women to take an action from their side, whereas a man, to show some love or to buy something, buy a gift or so, whatever it is, it becomes very easy for the man to do. He's quite brave, he does that easily. But for a woman, maybe due to her shy nature or whatever it is, it becomes difficult for the woman to take a step. Now today's times, of course, times have changed, but this is what has been told by Shiva. Shiva and Parvati, they have experienced this. So then Shiva, he says that when the Kailasa mountain shook while Ravana was shaking it, ultimately Parvati came and hugged Shiva, it seems. So though it was not conscious, but still Shiva said that for that minute I forgot that actually what Ravanasura was doing was evil. When you came and hugged me, I felt very happy, because it is very rare for women to show their love towards their husbands, whereas for men it is very easy. So this is what Shiva tells. But then Shiva at that time, of course, Parvati had also done a lot of tapasya to attain Shiva as her husband and so on. But then Shiva, he feels that at that time when you in the form of Shakti came near me, now because the mountain was shaking, for safety she suddenly comes and she hugs Shiva, who was near him, who was near her. So that's when Shiva tells that I felt so happy at that moment, I forgot that Ravana had done something evil. I considered this to be a blessing, and that's the reason I blessed him with a boon. That's what Shiva tells here. Parvati says all this is fine, but still, if what he has done is a curse, so therefore you should punish him. So at that time Shiva consoles her, saying that anyway Ravana is going to be killed later by Rama. This is just so that the world is blessed with Shiva Tandava Stotram and so on. So like this, the story goes. Now with this conversation ends. Now after a few days, again Parvati has a doubt. She tells her that day you became very happy. You say that Ravanasura, he shook the mountain, then you blessed him and so on. You became very happy. But I have heard from sources that this is not Anandam, this is not happiness. I have heard that only Vaikuntham is happiness. Shiva says that. So Shiva says, yes, ultimately Vaikuntham, that is what Vararohaha, the Lord who is always ready to bless his devotees with happiness, that is only true happiness. Vaikuntham is only true happiness. The Lord is only Vararohaha. But still, when I said that this is happiness, he tells that to tell the world, to teach the world a lesson, or you can say a message, and to tell the world that to reach Vaikuntham is not easy. Today I am born, tomorrow I will go to Vaikuntham, seek all kinds of happiness. It is not going to happen. Life is going to be full of ups and downs. Today if I am happy, tomorrow I might be sad, right? Now all of our lives, if you see, every day you have something good. Maybe in the morning something good happens, afternoon something bad will happen, our mood is not good, evening third thing will happen, night maybe something else. So you say it will always be up and down. Our emotions, our feelings go up and down. Nobody can say I was always happy, I am happy, I will be happy. Nobody can say that. This moment I am happy, next moment I don't know. Or even now also there might be so many worries, there might be so many tensions at the back of our mind. Maybe for this 1 hour I am not remembering them, or at least still though those thoughts are coming in my mind, still I am not focusing on that much. This is what we can say. Beyond that, there cannot be anyone who says that I am always happy. If that is there, everyone will go to Vaikuntham, right? So Shiva, he tells Parvati that in order to reach that utmost Vaikuntham, there are going to be different steps and different happiness that come in our lives. Today maybe I chant the Vishnu Sahasranama, I am happy. This is Anandam for us. Tomorrow maybe you do something good, you help 4 people, you do some Annadanam, you are happy. Maybe you speak to good people, you learn something new, you are happy. Maybe you go and spend time with your family, you are happy. So you see, there are different stages of happiness. Only if you are able to appreciate these small happinesses in your life, only then you will appreciate the greatest happiness, Vaikuntham. Now this how we can relate to our everyday life is, nowadays we say, right, small joys of life. What are small joys of life? Maybe you spend one day with your family, you are happy. This is small joy in life. We don't have to go out of the way to do anything, but this is joy. Here also in the case of Shiva, Shiva was the first one who has appreciated, who has made this motto of small joys of life. Very simple thing, Parvati came and hugged him. That also unconsciously, because the mountain started shaking. But that became Paramanandam for him. He says, because of that you came and hugged me. And I felt very happy for a moment that Goddess Parashakti, she has come and hugged me. So this is, you can say, Shiva was the first person who tries to show to the world to appreciate the small happiness of life. And he says that only if you appreciate and value small things in life that lead to happiness, then only you will be able to appreciate the Paramanandam, that is nothing but Vaikuntham. So this is again a life lesson to us to appreciate and be happy with what we have. If we have to complain, we'll sit and complain for everything. If we have to be happy, we can be happy for everything. So it is in our hand, right? If something good happens, that's how you have the proverb, right? Glass of water, half empty, half full. Depends on you how you look at things, right? So how we make use of our life, that is very much important. It is in our hands. If something good happens, you should appreciate that. If you are not appreciating, you have to always keep complaining. So how appreciation also happens is when we look at others. Now human beings, we have a tendency of comparison, right? You look at others, you feel, see how happy he is. Instead of that, you look at someone who doesn't have the things that you have. At that time immediately it strikes us how happy I am, right? When we look at someone who's below us, who doesn't have something. So that's how the way we look at things is all that matters. Shiva tries to tell this lesson, and ultimately he says that we have to slowly ascend by appreciating all these small joys in life. We have to slowly ascend to the ultimate, that is Vaikuntham. What is Vaikuntham? Vararohaha. Varaha arohaha. Varaha meaning to ascend. Arohaha meaning to ascend or climb. So that, which is unlimited. So happiness that is unlimited bliss, that is Vararohaha, nothing but Vaikuntham. The Lord who dwells there is called Vararohaha. The Nama Vararohaya Namaha. Palashruti is, if we chant this Nama, we will also be blessed with unlimited happiness, unlimited bliss. Okay. Did everyone understand this Nama? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, Lakshmi.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, continue.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
What is the reference of 18 point something in Bhagavad Gita?
The previous Nama, right?
Uh,
Yam prapyana nivartante. That means Vaikuntha. One who reaches Vaikuntha doesn't have to come back.
but it is not in 18.21, that's why.
It's not there?
No, madam.
Okay, let me just check after this. Yeah, I'll just check and let you know. Okay? It should be there, right? Yam prapyana.
श्लोके पुत्रत्वेन तु यज्ञानं ज्ञानं भावं पुत्रज्ञान वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं इति राजसम्.
Maybe there is some error in the numbering that is there.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
8.21.
8 point, is it in 8? Okay, maybe that 1 is mistaken. Check in 8 chapter, 8.21, is it there?
Yes, it is there, madam.
It is there. So maybe that 1 is an error. 8.2. Yeah? Okay. Let's continue. Mahatapaha. Mahatsrijya Vishayam Tapo Jnanamasyeti Mahattapaha. Aishwaryam Pratapo Va Tapa Mahadasyeti Va Mahattapaha. One who has great powers. Now to create this world is not easy, right? You have to have a lot of knowledge, a lot of skills and everything. So Mahatapaha. Tapaha literally means penance, but one who has lot of powers, knowledge for the things to be created. Now all of us, we can boast of having lot of knowledge and so on, but so you imagine in our everyday life, for a small thing also, if you need so much of knowledge, imagine to create this world, how much knowledge and how much tapasya, how much efforts the Lord should have put in, right? Now for this we have to go to the story of the Panchabhuta Sthalam, Jambukeshwara temple. Jambukeshwara temple, Tiruvanaikkaval. Now in this place, if you know the famous story of the spider and the elephant. Now they are actually two Shiva's servants, Shiva's Bhutaganas, Mayavan and Pushpadanta. Both of them, they were, due to a curse, they were born respectively as an elephant and as a spider and an elephant. Now this Mayavan was a spider and Pushpadanta was an elephant. So when now this Jambukeshwara temple, spider every day what it used to do around the Shivalinga, it used to create a web, a nice web, so that nothing from outside, maybe garbage or rubbish from here and there, nothing will fall on the Shivalinga. Pushpadanta, the elephant, what it used to do? It used to fill a lot of water in its trunk and it used to do Abhisheka to the Shivalinga. So when it used to do Abhisheka, automatically, obviously the web is going to break, right? So now this spider did not like this. Every day with so much efforts I prepare a web. So that was its way of showing devotion. And this elephant comes, it does Abhisheka and my web is broken. So one fine day what happens is, this spider, it goes inside the elephant's trunk, it bites it and the elephant dies. Now spider or some insects, for that matter even a honeybee, though their size is small, the harm that they cause can even kill people. So in the case of a spider and elephant also the same thing. Spider, if it bites, even an elephant can die. Elephant passes away. And that's when, so this is the main story of Jambukeshwara. And again they had to take a birth, and that's when you have this same Mayavan, this spider who had taken birth. Pushpadanta had passes away. In the next birth, the spider, he is born as Kochan Kannar. His name is Kochan Kannar. In Tamil literature it comes. Or Kochai Kannar, I don't know what exact. Kochan Kannar, right? Anyone knows the name of that person? Kochan only, I think. That means red eyes. Kannar is eyes. I think the name should be Kochan Kannar only. Okay. So that means a person who has got red eyes. Now how that red eyes came in, for that also there is a story. The same, he was born as a human being. So in the next birth, what happens is when the same spider is born as a human being, the mother who was there, now in those times all these practices used to take place, that only at it used to be mostly home birth, right? You didn't have hospitals and all, so birth used to take place at home. So a group of ladies used to come and help. So, and they used to see the muhurta, when the child should be born. Already labor had taken place, labor time had come, and but then someone had told that no, this is not an auspicious time to give birth. Only after certain period of time you should give birth. So now the lady did not want. Now nobody wants their child to be born at a wrong time. But then for labor time and whenever a child has to be given birth, we don't look at the auspicious time and anything, right? The child has to be born normal. That's how we see. But then this lady said, no, whatever it is, I want my child to be born at the auspicious muhurta only. So what she does is, she hangs herself upside down from a hook or so. She hangs herself upside down so that labor, even though labor has taken place, the child does not pass down. So this was the amount of, she didn't want her child to be born at the wrong time. This should never be done, but all these practices were being done. So what happened is, the blood flow that was there in her body, it started moving upside down, and that's when, so she waited till the auspicious muhurta came, and then later the child was born. But then the child was born with red eyes. The reason being, she hung herself upside down, and because of the excess blood flow that came in during the time of labor, that's the reason the child's eyes were always red. That's how the name came as Kochangandar. So now this person was a spider, and he constructed many temples in praise of Lord Shiva. Now he was a great Shiva devotee, and now how he constructed temples was, he used to construct temples with a lot of steps. For some distance it used to be flat, then steps, flat, steps, flat, steps. So there are many temples like this. If you see in India even today, or even the Jambukeshwara temple, if you see, the entrance is very small so that an elephant cannot pass through. And this Kochangandar also, he constructed so many temples. They were flat for some distance, then a few steps, again flat, again few steps. So in such a kind of construction, elephants would not be able to enter, right? So he had an enmity with elephants. So he said, I am going to construct temples in such a way that elephants can never enter the temple. So like this he kept on constructing temples. Lastly, he constructs one temple for Lord Vishnu also. That is Nachiyar and Vishnu. And at that time what happens, nearby there is another temple for Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is called as Siddhanarishwara and Saundarya Nayaki is the name of the goddess. Siddhanarishwara and Saundarya Nayaki, they are Shiva and Parvati. So this elephant was there. Now all this spider was reborn as Kochangandar. The same elephant, he comes in his next birth, he also comes, and he prays to Lord Shiva, saying that I'm not able to worship Shiva now, I'm not able to worship Vishnu because this person has created so many temples. They're flat, then they have some steps and so on. So as an elephant I cannot enter these temples. Now you tell me a way, what I can do. So Shiva, he tells that in this temple that is there for Nachiyar and Vishnu, I go there frequently, and at that time you also come with me. Let me see what can be done. So in the month of Margashirsha, that is in the month of Margazhi, roughly December, January every year, there is a Teppotsavam. Teppotsavam is a boat ride in the temple pond that is there. The Lord is taken on the temple pond in a handmade boat that is made of bamboo sticks and so on. That is called Teppotsavam. So during that time, myself and Saundarya Nayaki, Parvati, both of us, we go to witness that. Even till date, it is believed that in this temple, the Lord comes, Lord Shiva and Parvati, they go to witness this Teppotsavam. And during this time, you also at least see from outside. So Vishnu, the elephant, it agrees. Now, next Shiva, he tells that during the Panguni Masam, roughly in the month of March or April, mid-March till mid-April, March 15 to April 15. At that time you come there you have this Brahmotsavam that takes place. Many places there is a Brahmotsavam. In this temple also it will take place. On the 6th day, you have the elephant Vahana that is there. So this is how you will get moksha. This is how you will get moksha. Ultimately, you will go back to Shiva's realm only. He was a Shiva's attendant. So he says that on the 6th day, you can come inside from some, because the Brahmotsavam is on the road, right? So you can come from there. 6th day, from that day onwards. That's the reason you see in most of the Brahmotsavas, we reserve one day for Gajavahanam. That is after this Pushpadanta story. So he comes on the 6th day of Brahmotsavam. This elephant comes as a Vahana. It worships Lord Vishnu. In the Nachiyar Vishnu temple, it worships Lord Shiva also, Siddhanareshwara and Sandarinayake, and that's how it gets moksha. So, if you see, so through this story, what is being told is the Lord, how much efforts he puts in. Now, here, though Lord Shiva helps him, but still Lord Vishnu also some or the other way, even though we devotees give up. Now, here the elephant had almost given up, saying that there are no temples for me to worship. Kochakannar, the spider, has built it in such a way that elephants cannot enter. We devotees might give up, but the Lord never gives up. So, again, a point is, you given your 10%, the Lord ensures that he gives back 90% so that we can be on the right track. So here Mahattapase, meaning the Lord puts in a lot of efforts to ensure that his devotees always show bhakti. So this is one story from the Jammukeshwara, that is from the Panchabhuta Saram stories. Like this, there are many incidents which can relate to this. Again, if you see, even in the case of Ratnakara or Valmiki, it was just a turning point how Narada comes in to chant Ramanama and so on. So that was also destiny, right? When Narada had to come, and that was a turning point. Like this in all of our lives also, we have some or the other turning point. Let us not call it as a turning point, but something maybe happens all of a sudden, and then our life changes. More than life changing, it can be that life becomes more happy, or maybe you were doing something, someone comes into your life, now your life is more happy, or something good happens, your life changed. Maybe you're using your time in a good way, you're being positive, you're liking to spend time with good people, and so on. So Mahattapase, all this happens only and only because of the grace of the Lord. This is what has been said here. So another name for Vishnu is Mahattapase Namaha. His Nama is Mahattapase Namaha, meaning one who puts in lot of efforts to help his devotees. So if we also chant this Nama, you give our best, the Lord ensures us, He will take care of the rest. So this is a very beautiful saying that is said. You give your best, God will take care of the rest. So, but the thing is, we don't give our best also, but still the Lord ensures that some or the other way we can take the blessings. In our case, it is so evident, right? What we don't know, what good great karma we have done, that people don't know what is a Vishnu Sahasranama. Few of us have at least heard about it. Then comes a category who have listened to it. Then comes a category who are chanting it. Then comes a category who have learned it properly, and then they are chanting. Then comes a category who know about the meanings, who know about the stories. So you see, we are on the topmost level. This has to be nothing but the grace of the Lord only. So Mahattapase Namaha, this Nama is very much evident, at least for all of us. So it's just on the way we consider. At least I consider it, and all of you also, I hope you consider it in the same way. Without the grace of the Lord, nothing takes place. So Mahattapase Namaha, this is the Nama. Okay. So today time is up. Let's stop here. We'll continue next Saturday.